What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, I go crazy without you guys. Burning the midnight oil, trying to get artwork done for Mother's Day for one of you great fans out there, trying to do what I can. I've got to go work down in the country. I've got a house that we have to get ready by the 15th for some people to move in, and right now there's a bedroom with no floor in there, and I've got to do some work on the kitchen floor and get carpet put in, all kinds of stuff and all that. So I stay busy, I stay on the go, but I'm not complaining. I'm fortunate that I'm able to be able to get around and run like crazy. I was sitting here thinking, I think today's the first day that Philly 500 has not sent me a picture of Jordan Davis. The Eagles are as excited as they can be about, their team and the moves they made. A.J. Brown and stuff, who said, I'm not a regular season guy. Basically, I'm a playoff guy. Okay, whatever. The Washington team, getting Carson Wentz, which might be the best quarterback they've had since probably Alex Smith when he was healthy, has gotten there. So, of course, they feel like they're a better team than where they were, which is probably a good thing. The Giants, well, hell, they got nowhere else to go but up. Looking at the draft, and this is the thing that's always so funny about the draft, is you really don't know if it was a good draft, a bad draft, or all that for really a couple of years. But from a standpoint of getting better, I think all the teams in our division think that they're going to be better. Now, people, of course, always talk about the NFC East as the NFC least, but I'm not going to go on here and say that the Cowboys and the Giants, the Eagles, and Washington, that they were the worst division in football last year. I'm not going to say that, because we had at least two teams that made it to the playoffs. I'll look at the NFC North and say Green Bay is the only team there that had a playoff team. In fact, they're the only team that had a winning record. Everybody else was below 500 in there. And I look at the NFC South and say, well, Tampa Bay was great, but the Jaguars and Atlanta were two of the worst teams in football. And without a quarterback, the Saints, well, literally, Sean Payton left. So I'm not going to say that division was better than us last year. And then, of course, there's the AFC South with, the Colts, who had Carson Wentz last year. The Titans that, they threw up on themselves first round playoffs like we did. And then you had the Jags and the Texans. I'm not going to say that division was better than the NFC East, but be that as it may, it might be the best thing for the Cowboys to actually have some competition in the division. To be able to just go through and blow out your competition in your division doesn't really test you very much for when you get out of the division and in the playoffs. And it may be because we had so many patsies last year and it was easy to go ahead and get a victory. They didn't really get punched in the mouth by the Eagles, the Giants, and Washington to get them ready for the playoffs. And maybe the Eagles, getting a Jordan Davis, having Howgrove there and Fletcher Cox and stuff, having to actually beat up against those guys in the real competition will do the Cowboys good. You would think that with the 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and Seattle, that the way they beat each other up last year, either they were just head and shoulders above everybody else because they were beating the crap out of each other all season. And here it was, come playoff time, the 49ers weren't intimidated at all going to Dallas. They weren't intimidated at all going to Green Bay because they were used to having to fight for scraps. And maybe that's just what the Cowboys need. I'm sitting here in my mind, and I've been busy all day trying to get this stuff done, so I haven't had enough time to really be down in the man cave doing some videos and things, because I want to go through position by position and say, did we get better? Did we get worse? Were we the same? and so on, and be able to break it down with the numbers. But, we always have hope. Everybody right now is 0-17. I'm sorry, 0-0. Excuse me. 0-0. It's been a long day, okay? It's been a long day. Everybody's got the same chance. If you were Cincinnati last year, most people didn't think that Cincinnati was going to be going to the Super Bowl the first time in like 30-some years. But yet, they were. So you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know what teams are going to be the teams that end up rising and the teams that end up falling. Remember? Last year, everybody was on the Washington football team's bandwagon and touting how good they were with their defense and how they're going to take another step and they're the best team in the division. Look what happened. Things change quickly in football. They really do. And so you can't really discount anybody as being out. Sometimes the change of coaching can make all the difference in the world. And maybe, just maybe, you can end up being like Cincinnati and finding a Jamar Chase in the draft that is the perfect weapon that propels your offense to get you there. Maybe you end up getting a few, linemen that you weren't expecting and start playing better. So don't think, and Eagle fans, that are pounding your chest and thinking that everything's going to be great. I'm old enough to remember the Dream Team, where you guys were out there crowing and cockadoodle doing about how good you guys are going to be to fall on your face. That's the way it is in football. 128 days till the season kickoff. We done had free agency, the combine, and now the draft come and gone. We're already at phase 2, OTAs, and in less than 3 weeks we have our first mini camp. Wow. Before you know it, guys, the season will be upon us. One last thing. Please, please, please. Keep Stewart in your prayers, guys. He's having a hard time right now and can definitely use everybody's power for good. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'm driving here in the dark. And God willing, I'll see you soon.